one person. Oh, they're coming in now.
Oh.
Hello, everyone. We're going to just allow one more minute to let some people come in here. We have a lot of attendees today, which is really exciting. So reports, the thrilling side of Club Caddie is very popular for this webinar. Looks like, yeah, we still have people trickling in. Let's see. All right. Well, we're about, we slowed down on the attendees coming. So I will go ahead and introduce. Welcome to Caddie Chat. My name is Nicole Chapman, Director of Training and Education here at Club Caddie. This is an exciting webinar we started, and it focuses on a particular section of the software. And so we will do these continually, quarterly. We also, if you have missed it, have another webinar series in which we go over new features. So we go over the quarter of new features, review them, see how they can assist in your facilities. So if you haven't seen those yet, check us out. You should get an email in the next few months. I do want to say a special thank you to everyone that has registered and all of the questions that were submitted. There was quite a few. I did want to note that if your question wasn't pertaining to reports specifically and were a bit more general or use case, then our customer success representative will follow up with you to assist in some of those questions. So just be on the lookout for that email about those questions that you had maybe asked if we don't address them today. And most importantly, speaking today is Michael Rollins, Director of Product, and Ryan Hudson, VP of Support. They are two of the best guys in the whole world. I'm super lucky to work with them. And so they will be speaking in 1 second. I did want to let you guys know, if you do want to submit a question, you are able to do that at the bottom. And we will address those questions at the end. We'll save 15 minutes. And we'll try and get in as much as we possibly can because there's a lot to cover. So I will go ahead and pass it off to these gentlemen.
Perfect. Thank you guys for joining in here today. Like Nicole said, my name is Ryan Hudson, VP of Support, and I'm going to touch on some of the important reports to hopefully help you guys tie up the end of the year. So I'm going to go ahead and push over a screen share here. All right. So the first, like I said, there are a lot of reports here, as Nicole alluded to, and we want to touch on some of the big ones here to kind of help you get through the end of the year. The very first one that I wanted to touch on would be the GL code report, as this report, really streamlines, the process. Revenue going to your different revenue codes, etc. So if I navigate to the settings up in Club Caddie and then on the left-hand side, come down to QuickBooks integration here, you'll see we have our chart of accounts that whether or not you use desktop or online, we can upload those and then go through the process of mapping them. One key thing, I guess, for both desktop and online is we can directly import them from QuickBooks Online, and that is a kind of a required process there because we need to have the QuickBooks Online ID be recognized for the integration. So once we upload those, we will have a green check mark here signifying that the code has successfully been brought over with the integration. And this here, our chart of account on our Club Caddie course were manually input, which is why we do not see that green check mark here. But online we would. So we've got QuickBooks Desktop as well. And once we upload the chart of accounts, we will come into the journal entry setup. And this is a very, very important piece. Because like I said, this is where we're mapping out the different transaction types as well as the different subdepartments. So we would, in the upper right-hand corner here, we would go ahead and we would click on Add Journal Entry, right? And we're going to be searching for, let's just say, cash. And when we enter in cash payments here, it's going to be a debit account, right? So we would then go ahead here and click into the debit column, and it would populate our chart of accounts that we had uploaded. So for our sake here, behind this window, as you can see, we have it debiting the operating account. And then if you guys utilize classes within QuickBooks as well, those directly come from the import as well. So you could then select a specific class, that would be routing, within your QuickBooks as well. The memo appears on the GL code report itself to kind of help you identify, either what that transaction type is or what that subdepartment is. So for example, for our cash payments, we have cash payment that's debiting the operating account, and total cash collected as our memo. So when we view that GL code report, we're going to see total cash collected. So we would go through, we've got about 20 to 25 different transaction types, VPOS and ecom, which are our credit cards, payments by membership ID. We've got our credit voucher payments, credit voucher sales, likely, hitting a gift card liability account. Once we map all of the different transaction types, and like I said, your specific facility may or may not utilize all of them. We would want to hit this drop down, and we would want to go to subdepartment then. And in Club Caddie, in the register, we map items on the subdepartment level. So our department here, for example, is golf shop, and our subdepartment is green fees. So when we add a journal entry here for the subdepartment, I'm just going to click into here. We've got our subdepartment automatically selected. We'll come to subdepartment. We see golf shop and green fees. And we are going to be crediting the green fee account. So anytime that a item is sold out of that green fee subdepartment, it will be crediting the green fee GL account. And then we get into some of the settings here. So within Club Caddie, as part of the QuickBooks integration, we can report tender types and variants by terminal location, enable separate journal entries set up by terminal location. So basically this would, if you've got different, you want to report in QuickBooks, your pro shop separate from your restaurant, separate from your back office, etc. We can toggle these on, and it's going to report the different tender types and variants by the terminal location. We do have the ability to enable the cost of goods as well within Club Caddie, and just a separate step with that, we would want to make sure that we get your vendor list as well to make sure that the vendors are part of the import. Going back to the journal entry setup here really quick. One key component here, some states require it, some don't. But when you do your sales tax GL account, some states require that there's a vendor associated with it. So here, again, the vendor, when you do a direct import, your vendors will come over. But if your state requires, that vendor be associated, we would want to select, for example, Department of Revenue or whatever that vendor may be. Once we get everything set up here, this will populate the GL code report in Club Caddie. And you'll see your different revenue streams. There are a few different areas as well, throughout the software where we can go ahead and we can map different GLs, such as like the activity center. You can, map your different activity resources, whether it be a simulator, a lesson, pickleball court, etc. That would be done under the activity center here. So here you can see we've got our simulators mapping to simulator income, golf lessons routing to our golf lesson GL. Another area here to touch on that we want to make sure that we map is under register settings. So under register settings here, we have our club voucher types. and these are our different gift cards that we have within the software. So if you've got some different gift cards, maybe some that are routing to different GLs, we can specify that here under our club voucher type. Staying under register settings, we've got our custom payment methods. So these would be just custom payment methods that you as the operator set up. Maybe you're doing a gift card promotion for Black Friday, for example, and we need a custom payment method to ring through that gift card, for example. So custom payment methods, again, chart of accounts can all be mapped here. Once we map everything out there, like I said, we've got the GL code report here for 1119. And for example, here's a custom payment method. This is a good thing here that we see. It'll balance out at the end of the day. However, if a facility is utilizing a custom payment method, or maybe they didn't map a subdepartment, etc., you're going to see this word missing here. And don't be alarmed. When you do sync to QuickBooks, you're just going to get an error message that says, please check the journal entry setup. And this would be the first area that I would actually go to check to see if there's anything missing here. And as you can see, custom payment methods is missing. So I would want to go back to settings, to go to register settings, and then here, corporate charge, we would want to click on edit. And then, for example, we want to assign a GL account there. And when we refresh here, so now we've got that missing account where we've got that custom payment method mapped. And then in the lower right-hand corner, you can export this report to Excel if you wish. But the GL code report is an exact mirrored copy of what is going to be brought into your QuickBooks Online or your QuickBooks Desktop. Like I said, that is a key component. It can be exported, to Excel through the settings and the QuickBooks integration. When you have QuickBooks Online and you've established that connection, there is going to be an option there to sync with QuickBooks. So we would just be inputting a start date and an end date. And obviously, today's 11/19. The day of business is not over yet. I can't sync 11/19, but I can sync up until the 18th. So I would put my from date time as 11/18. My to date time is 11/18. Sync with QuickBooks. And then you're going to get that mirrored copy of that GL code report brought into your QuickBooks Online, just how it appears in Club Caddie. A couple other reports, or one that I wanted to touch on too, was the sales by month by ski report, as that also relates to the GLs. So in the report module up in the upper right, along the left-hand side, we have our list of reports in Club Caddie. And we've got our sales by month by ski report. And I'm just going to utilize it for today here. But this report here will show you an item description of what was sold, the quantity that was sold, as well as the GL account that it's hitting and what that total is going into that GL account. So again, this is just a different spin-off here. It's a clean looking report, nice report to see the total of what was sold for a given period of time and what amount should be hitting, a specific GL account. Some questions that I see quite often are, once I have my GL set up, can I change that GL account? You certainly can. You can always go back into your settings, your journal entry setup, and you can edit that account, right? And the nice thing about the accounting reports in Club Caddie is they are retroactive, so that once you make that change, you're going to be able to refresh that report and see that new account change. So that's kind of a rundown of the GL reports in Club Caddie. Another report I wanted to touch on here is the sales by department report. This report is a excellent report that shows a lot of detail here. We can drill down for a specific date range. We can drill down by department if we want. And you can see, the individual items that were sold, but this is going to show you your cost of goods if you have it entered, what the average price is, the quantity sold, what your pre-tax value is, the total in sales tax, as well as, what your overall gross sales are. If you're not interested in seeing the drill down of items that were sold, we can exclude the subdepartment and the categories in search, and we would just get a bottom dollar for your different departments here. So I'll turn that back on here. So again, as we go down, we're going to see our different departments here. Your department is highlighted in green, your subdepartment in the lighter green, and then our category is in gray. You're going to be able to see here as well if anything was discounted. If you guys got convenience fees as well, convenience fees will show up here. And then we have some hard-coded departments that manually come over, for membership billing. That's where this department memberships comes in. You'll see the subdepartment of recurring billing. So a lot of facilities, will have their billing day as the first. So on the first of every month, they're going to see this department membership populate with all of their different membership classes that were set to bill for that day. So this is a great report, that can be ran for a year long, a month, week to week, day by day, etc. This report can be exported both to Excel and a PDF in the lower right-hand corner of Club Caddie. And I have gone ahead and downloaded it to Excel. So this would be what it looks like in Excel. Once you get it into Excel, you can feel free to manipulate the data how you please to to customize a report that suits you, by removing departments, etc., that you may not need, which is it's a great tool. Another report that kind of comes side by side with the sales by department is the sales detail by department report, which, as you saw with the sales by department report, that gave a lot of information, discount, service charge, etc., where the sales detail by department really drills down a little bit further and condenses that information here. So we're just getting the quantity of the items sold, the total sales, what your cost was, and what that margin percent is. All right.
Yep, and just real quick on those reports, Ryan, the sales by department and the sales detail by department are two of the most highly utilized reports on a day-to-day basis. But when people are looking at it, over the course of a longer period of time, 12 months, when people are trying to close out their books for the year, it really is nice to be able to go to these reports and see all of that kind of granular level information in terms of the cost. Maybe you didn't have a cost of goods in there for a given inventory item for the first few months, and then you put a cost in there, so the margin percentage is going to be a little bit out of whack. It's good to have all of that information in one report so you can easily identify, hey, maybe something was wrong here over some period of time when you're looking at a report for 12 months and your margin percentage is 1,000% because you didn't have any cost in there for a given inventory item. So just a couple things to be on the lookout for as operators are looking at these reports. There really is a lot of useful information here.
For sure, yeah, that's a good take, Michael. Thank you for throwing that in there. The next one here is our sales tax detail report. So items have, obviously when we build out items in the inventory center, we're able to select whether or not that item has tax applied to it, or maybe it doesn't have tax, was it tax exempt. So the sales tax detail report here can be, again, run for a custom date range. But this report here is going to show you everything that was taxable on the left-hand side here, and then anything that was non-taxable. So as you guys are closing out the year-end books and everything like that, if you see items that, are in the non-tax area, but maybe they should be taxed, does that item, have sales tax applied in the inventory center, or was tax exempt selected in the register at the time. So this report is very good here. Like I said, just identifying that granular level data, showing what was taxable and what was non-taxable. A couple other reports here, just on like the customer level, as I touch on it here. We have quite a few people that are just curious about, customer spending, how much are my customers spending, etc. We have a great report, which is the customer spend by department report. And again, all of our reports are have a customizable date range. That can be exported to Excel, PDF. So here we have, a list of all of our customers, the amount of rounds that they've played for that specific date range, and then what's the amount of money that they're spending in the different departments throughout the facility. So if I want to see, for example, Austin here, he spent, just under $50 in the food department. So this is a great report just to kind of see, a granular overview of, where your customers are spending the bulk of their money. Michael, I'll let you touch on the customer with saved card, as we probably touch on that with membership. We do have, a customer flags report as well, as that relates directly to the customer. Within each customer profile, we can go ahead and we can set a customer flag. And when we set that flag, this flag will appear in the customer flag report. So we would set that on the individual profile level. It'll populate when their name gets brought to the T-sheet. When you try to check them in, that flag will appear. Maybe that customer needs an extra towel, for the bag boy, whatever it may be. That report, or I'm sorry, that flag would appear in that customer flag report. Do you want to go roll into the membership items now, Michael?
Just real quick, Ryan, we had a question come in from the Q&A asking about discounts. I know you briefly touched on it, but in the sales by department report, if you just want to highlight that real quick.
Yep. So in the sales by department report, we do have a column that does show the discounts that appear, and any discounts that are created through register or through the register settings and the discounts. We have a discount summary report here. So I'm just going to run this for a larger date range here. So any discount that's created, we have a discount summary report here, which really gives an overview of, the name of the discount that was issued, the number of times that it was used, what the total is, and basically, what that overall percentage is. So any custom discount that you create and any time that it is used, it will appear here under that discount summary. A good example here again is, like an employee, maybe you guys give employees 50% off for food, beverages, whatever it may be. Like I said, it'll show you the number of times that it's used and the total amount that was put towards that discount. All right.
And one more, Ryan, just while we're kind of on the customer discount discussion, can you show us how to set up a flag for the customer?
Yep. So within the customer profile, so we're going to navigate to the customer profile in Club Caddie. I'll bring up my profile here. So in the customer profile here, we will go ahead and on the main screen here, we're going to have the set flag. We're going to click on set flag, and then we're going to go ahead and add enter the note first. I'm sorry. So we're gonna go ahead and say, maybe overdue on payments, for example. And then we will do it, on the profile, and then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add that flag. So now I've got this this flag on my profile, for example. If I go to the T sheet, and I'm gonna book myself a tea time. This flag that I've set on my profile will appear here. And I can, now that I've recognized this flag here, I can, ignore, deactivate. But that flag is there to signify, that there is items on that profile that we need to take action on. And if I go back to the reports and go to my customer flag report, here we got that flag that I just set on my profile. Is there anything else that you wanted to touch on there, Michael, as regarding the customer flags?
I think that was good. Yeah.
There's one question. Yeah. You got it, Michael. Go for it.
Yeah. So the question was, Ryan, what's the difference on a profile versus billing status when creating the flag?
So the profile is right when when the flag gets added on the profile, it's onto the you get your name gets brought on the T sheet. You add the flag, and it's going to pop up right when that profile is active. And then the billing is going to notify when there's a billing item there, and that customer flag is set. When you're actioning a billing feature, that flag will reappear.
Perfect. All right. Well, I think that is a great segue into the next topic that we will be covering, which is memberships. So I am going to take over the screen share here. And hopefully everybody can see my screen. So we are going to start just with a brief overview of class management. So we had quite a few questions on how do I edit memberships? I already have season passes that were set up for 2024. How do I change them, change the dues for 2025? So we will just start with an overview here. You can see, for example, we have this couples membership. This is a $500 monthly class. And if we want to go in and edit this, and if we want to change it to, let's say, $750 per month, and we hit save, it asks, do you want to apply these changes to existing class members? So if you have existing customers, members, season pass holders with this couples membership, if you hit yes here, it will increase their dues at the next billing cycle from that 500, which it previously was, to the new updated value of 750 per month. So you do not have to do this. If you click no, it'll keep everybody that already has the class at 500 per month. And then only new members or pass holders with the couples membership would be at that 750 per month. So you do have a few options, but we do give you the flexibility to apply that new rate to new and existing members or pass holders. So that is how you edit the classes, the due amounts, the billing frequency. You could change it from monthly to quarterly or monthly to annual, however you see fit. But like I said, we do give you that flexibility. If you don't want to mess with changing the due amounts or the due types, the frequency, anything like that, you could always create a new class. Again, that does open up a new can of worms with people purchasing new memberships and updated values. They would have to go through and purchase that new class at the new rate. So it is a little bit easier to just update the value here. And then for existing members, they just get that updated price at their next billing cycle. Along with updating the price and billing frequency, there are quite a few options here when we go to the action dropdown. So we can edit the minimum spend rule. So this would be minimum spend departments. We can add, maybe food and drinks between the two departments. They have to spend $50 every month. And we can apply that to the class. This is one way to do minimum spend rules. You can also create a separate class specifically for minimum spend rules. That definitely gives you a little bit more flexibility if you have a membership or a season pass structure where people tend to switch different types of classes throughout the course of the year. So either way you do it, we do have the flexibility to edit it on the class level, or you can actually do it on the individual customer member level as well. So if we go into my profile, you can see here that we have the minimum spend rule tab. There we go. So I have quite a few minimum spend rules here. If I had a special, perk for this F&B minimums, right now it's $200 a month. I can go in and edit this on the customer level or the member level, say it's $100. I can do that. That is so that's actually expired. So, but yeah, you can edit it on an individual member basis if you see fit. So, lots of different options there. And if we go back to class management and our couples membership, let's see. We also have the discount types. So you can add different discount rules here. Say get 10% off in the pro shop. We'll actually be coming out with next week in the release that we have the ability to narrow down to the sub department level for these class specific discounts. So let's say in the pro shop, I have 5 sub departments and I only want to give a 10% discount on hard goods. I could do that from here in the bill that will be released next week, rather than just giving a blanket 10% discount on the entire department. So be on the lookout for that next week. Should be on the auto updater probably by Wednesday. So let's see here. Chart of accounts. This is extremely important for reporting. If you want the dues for this couple's membership to go to a different chart of accounts than what you had set up in the journal entry setup that Ryan was just showing previously, you could configure that here. Maybe we want this to go to miscellaneous banquet sales. We could have that. And then anytime the dues were charged for this couple's membership, it would hit this chart of accounts as opposed to the accounts receivable for membership account. Additional settings, quite a bit here, not a whole lot to do with reporting, but good things to know. You can require credit cards to hold tee times, activity reservations for tennis courts, pickleball, swim lanes, whatever you have for activities. Maximum assignments. This would be a good one if you have a limited amount of memberships available. You can set this to 10. So the first 10 people that sign up for this membership get it, and then the 11th person would not be able to sign up for this couple's membership. Let's see here. We have some terms and conditions and cancellation policies and expiration strategies. Again, these are more for the online sale of memberships. But if you do want to use that for the sales strategy, we have the online links here. Your customer success manager can definitely get with you to set these up, but definitely a good way to increase membership sales as we move into 2025. So that's kind of a brief overview on just class management. Again, very important things to remember, especially when you're editing the due amounts and the due types. Now we will move into all of our membership reports. We do have quite a few of them. We'll start with the member activity report. So this is a report that will show every order that has been associated with a membership account, whether it does not matter if it's been paid for with cash, check, membership ID, credit card, anything will show here. You can see these first few. These were assessments. These were ledger adjustments that were done for 125 on a select group of members. They also show voids, refunds, charge to account. We can view the orders. So Ryan made a charge to his account at 6:28 today. And we can go in and view the order. We could see what it was for. He got a pizza and a Long Island. Pretty ambitious for 6:30 in the morning, but way to go, Ryan. So we can see all of the details right here from the membership activity report. So just a very broad report, just kind of see how active your membership is. We'll just go right down the list here. Next is the spending report for minimums. So anybody that has a minimum spend rule tied to their member profile will show here. Pretty straightforward. It shows what kind of rule they have, what class it was inherited from, the minimum amount, the frequency, the minimum dates, the departments, how much they've spent, and then how much they have remaining to spend. Again, this can be exported to Excel for a little bit easier viewing, but this does give you a full overview of all of your members and where they stand with their minimums. And if you have questions on an actual individual member, as you know, where they're at, you can go back to the individual member profile, into the membership tab, and you can go to the minimum spend rule, and you can actually see the ledgers. This will load. And you can see here, the minimum amount for this was 200. I spent 238.55, so I met it. I had an overage of 38.55 for this period. And again, you can see all the order with the order details as well. Let's see, the next one here we have is the minimum adjustment report. So I made a bunch of adjustments today on some member profiles. This is just for today, and the date filters here. You can do this for any period of time, but this will show when you created the adjustments, the member's name, their membership ID, the chart of accounts that was associated to the adjustment, any description, as well as the amount. So there is actually a setting to require a chart of accounts when you make membership adjustments. It's a very important setting if you use the GL code report and the journal entry setup. If you're syncing with QuickBooks or QuickBooks Online, you are going to need a chart of accounts for these adjustments, whether it be to a member account or an event. So having that chart of account here is critically important if you're using that sync feature. So you definitely want to make sure that you have that setting on. We're going to skip over the membership billing. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But the next one is the membership type change report. So this is a very useful report, probably a little bit underutilized. This shows any changes that have been made to a member's account. Maybe it's the first time that they signed up for a membership class, or maybe they changed member classes. Anything that has to do with assigning classes you can do here. This is actually what the report looks like. So we have the member name, their membership ID, what they changed to, and also really important here, who it was changed by. So we can see this also includes online sales here. So this was the first time that Brendan signed up for the $0 member class. And he did so on November 7th at 8:33 a.m. So just to get, for facilities that do a lot of online signups for maybe season pass holders, this is a very important report that you would want to reference, especially if you're doing like Black Friday specials for 2025 memberships. As you're trying to track those sales, this would be a very useful report for reference. And then last but not least, we have the membership billing report. So when you click on this report, it looks relatively harmless, pretty straightforward. So you have your lifetime assignment count. So how many people have had this class since you've been using Club Caddie? How many people currently have this class? And then how many people will be billed on the next billing cycle? And then the amount. So not too much here, but we have this expanded view export. And if you haven't used this expanded view, this is probably the best membership report that we offer. This is what it looks like. So we have obviously quite a few more columns on this report. So this is broken out by class type. So we have the no charge members, family members, public, seniors. It lists out the customer member name, their membership ID, when they became a member, if they're active or suspended, or if they're inactive, they would be, expired. What their dues amount is, what their frequency is, their current balance, so what they currently owe, along with the last payment amount and date. And then two really important fields here, the expiration date and the build till date. So anybody that deals with membership or season pass holders at a facility, probably pretty familiar with the expiration date and the build till date. But being able to export this report and see an overview of all of your members and what the expiration and build till dates are is extremely important. Especially as we go into 2025, making sure that everybody's set up properly with the right schedule for billing is something that would be very important for the accounting team as well. So again, that's the expanded view report in the membership billing report. So I think that is all I have on, oh, we did have one more. Actually, a couple more. As we work through, or as clients go through the billing process with Club Caddie for their members, obviously members can add credit cards or ACH accounts to their profiles for the automatic charge jobs that happen for their invoices. And we have this payments failed through wallet report. Let's see if we have one here. Might not have any on our demo course, but this will show, here we go. If you have any payments that failed. So I have one here for a penny. This was account number 1234, and it also gives you the failure reason. So this is an extremely helpful report as we're working through the invoicing and charging of those invoices to see how many of the payments are actually going through, and also why they're not going through if they're not. So service not allowed, merchant disabled, insufficient funds, expired cards, things like that will all show in this failure reason column. So after the charge date, it's usually recommended that you check this report. That's the payments failed through wallet. And then kind of in conjunction with that report, we have the customer with saved card report. So in Club Caddie, not only members, but anybody, even customers, can save cards to their profile. And if we go to here, we can see, we can filter this for expired cards or non-expired cards. We can see that Michael and Jason have expired credit cards on their profile. If we wanted to go to non-expired cards, we could search here. and that will show everyone that has an actual credit card or ACH account on their profile. Again, just nice to know as we're getting towards the end of the year with these outstanding balances, who has a card on file, who doesn't, why don't they? Just being able to do that reach out with some greater level of information is definitely a good thing. So I think that's all we have on membership. Did we have any questions come in through the Q&A on that part?
We have had a few questions. We are answering them. Ryan's being very diligent in answering as well. But I think we should move on to the reports just because I feel like we are going to hit time pretty quickly here, unless we've gone over everything.
Yeah, we had a couple of questions. I can touch on a few just from the questions that were submitted earlier about inventory and how we keep track of the costs and things like that. So if we go into settings here on the top right, we go into inventory center. We have this tab at the top for audit inventory. So this is where you essentially either do a physical count and you reconcile what you counted versus what you actually have or what the system expects you to have. So if we go to just a test one here from May, you can see here, this is what it'll look like for the people that are actually counting the inventory. You would enter in the counted number in the counted column. So let's see, we can filter this for Pro Shop and let's do golf balls. So the system expects us to have 105 sleeves of Titleist AVX golf balls. Maybe we only have 100. And when we do that, we would save this and that would replace the 105 that the system expects with the new value of 100. So what that's going to do is that's going to increase the item cost from 901. It'll increase that by a couple cents, but it will override that value of 105 to the new value that you put in. One thing that we've introduced as a feature over the past 6 months maybe is the ability to scan inventory using a barcode scanner. So if you have all of your AVX golf balls with a label on them or the manufacturer's label, you can click into this barcode scanner field and you can scan it, and you can scan it 100 times or you can just scan it once and it'll bring up the AVX golf balls and you can put 100 in the counted column. So making everybody's lives a little bit easier there. But once you count all of your inventory, you would go to reconcile, and this would show you the new adjustments. So we can actually save that really quick. If we go to Pro Shop, golf balls, 100. We go to reconcile. Let's see, there we go. If we reconciled this, this would change that cost. As you can see here, it's going down with the -5 in adjustment. So again, this reconcile cannot be undone. That's on purpose. We kind of give you that point of no return when you click on reconcile, just to make sure that everything is okay. But yes, clicking on reconcile will adjust everything. We're also coming out with next week in the new release, the ability to track shipping costs when you receive inventory from the receive transfer inventory. When you receive something, there will be a new field up here. So if you receive 10 different items, you can put a total of the shipping cost here, and that will divide out the shipping cost amongst the items proportionally. So you don't have to manually edit the costs of those items that you've received. The shipping costs will be automatically baked in. So I think that is all I have on the membership and inventory side.
There was a question for annual memberships. Is there a way to recognize the revenue on a monthly basis to defer the revenue?
Not currently. You could, I mean, if you don't want to set it up as a monthly class, yeah, there are some things that we can do as a workaround, but we will be coming out with the feature to essentially have a total price for the membership, and you can choose which months you want to recognize that revenue on. So something definitely to look forward to in 2025.
Thank you. And then Sean, you asked a question. I'm a little confused on the verbiage a little bit. So maybe if you want to re-ask that. And then Joni says, is there a report to run by location, i.e. Pro Shop, Clubhouse, by date, by GL code?
Yeah, so with the GL code report there, we can, well, I should, let me back up. Within the journal entry setup, if we toggle on the settings to report tender types by terminal and location, we can also set that up to, where we have cash payments routing to Pro Shop. It would also break it out for cash payments coming through the Clubhouse, cash payments coming through the back office, etc. We can still run the same GL code report. It'll just break it out by location there.
All right. Then we have another one. Any way to run a report on referrals when member signups? So if there's a referred category.
Yes, with the new sales strategy, links for the online membership sale, there is a field for referrals. We are working on producing and generating a report to show to show that field who they were referred by. Currently, it's just stored internally in our database. We don't show it anywhere. We recognize that's probably something we should let people know who referred them. So we will be coming out with that report early in 2025 for sure.
Wonderful. And then Sean clarified a little bit. Am I able to offer a one-time discount for all members as a welcome back, assuming it will track usage?
You want to take that one, Ryan?
Yeah, the one time yeah, we could set up a discount. If it's all members coming back, right? Like within the membership class, you can set up a discount on that profile level. So for one-time billing purposes, that that discount amount, whatever is preset, would come off that membership application class. When the class is applied.
Yep, and we could even, to that point, we could set up flags on every member account that gets that discount. So the first time that you interact with their profile, it says, hey, give them a 15% discount off of merchandise or whatever. And you could give them that discount and deactivate the flag all in the same action. So definitely a couple different options there.
Yep.
Yeah.
On that same point, Michael, too, with the membership class, like if there was an existing class, right, we could set that discount right up within the class. And then any new members, would be bucketing under, the new 2025 membership class.
Yep.
That maybe don't get that discount offered.
Yeah.
And this is a good one, a popular one that I know we come across because we do have the answer for this is there a way to auto renew memberships?
To auto renew memberships, yes, there definitely is. So in the member profile, when you're assigning the classes or the memberships, if you do not put in an expiration date, the class, the membership, the season pass will automatically renew once their build till date passes. So if it's an annual class, runs from January 1st to December 31st of 2024. Once it hits January 1st, 2025, that annual pass will automatically renew if there is no expiration date set. So yeah, just a matter of managing the build till and expiration dates, but definitely something that a lot of Club Caddie clients use for sure.
And I did have a first part, but I'm going to go to the second part of the question, which is, what is the best report to get our monthly gross and net sales?
Sales by department.
Yeah.
That's gonna be the best. That report's gonna really encompass everything that was done for that given time period.
Yep. And what's really nice about the sales by department, again, that by far the most widely used report, that and the GL code report. is that you can see it at a very high level if you don't want to see the sub-departments and the categories and the items for that fact. You can just see the department totals, or you can get super granular and go all the way down to the item level if you want to. So that will give you your pre-tax value, how much you charge in tax, how much you got in discounts, your cost, your margin percentage. Yeah, the sales by department is definitely a go-to report for a lot of operators that use Club Caddie.
Anna does have a few questions. So Anna, if we don't get to all of your questions, we will definitely have someone follow up with you directly. You can ask, spend that time and have a good one-on-one. She did ask, along with that, if an item cost changes, will it automatically adjust that on the item level, or does that have to be done separately?
Yeah, so if an item cost changes, it automatically updates everywhere throughout the system. So if you receive inventory at a different cost, whether it be higher or lower, as soon as you finalize and receive that inventory, it will update the cost. If you do an inventory audit and the cost or the quantity changes and the price either increases or decreases, that cost will automatically update. So you don't have to worry about going in and doing manual changes.
Jeffrey Stern, grand report produce a grand total of all departments.
Report of all departments, a grand total.
Yes. Yes.
Sales by department, again, that report at the very bottom, before you get to the liability section, in the lower right-hand corner is going to give you that total extension of everything within all departments.
Yep. So, and just to note on the sales by department, with it, there are those hard-coded departments for I think it's events and liability and things like that, and gift cards. Actually, might not be gift cards, but
Membership.
yeah. So it's not actually at the very bottom, I don't think, right?
It's right above the liability account, I
Yeah,
believe.
it's right above the liability section of that report, but you will get a total of everything else there. Yep.
And I know there's a couple questions, but we are starting to run out of time. I did have to address one, which is, will you be doing a webinar and inventory sometime soon? Guess what our next webinar will be? So no, that's a great suggestion. So you can probably look for that one in the next quarter as you're starting back up and season is beginning again. So if we did not get to your question today, please do know we are going to submit them to our customer success, who is going to reach out directly. There was a lot of attendees for this particular webinar, so very popular. So do allow us, if we can't get to you this week, we will try and get to you next week. But if you don't know your customer success representative, definitely great tool to utilize. They are there for you. They are completely your advocate at Club Caddie. So definitely reach out to them. And for any direct questions, you also always have support and the support team from Ryan, who is amazing and always wonderful. But we are just going to wrap this up right now. Thank you, everybody who attended, who participated. Michael, Ryan, as always, thank you so much. You guys are amazing. And I think we're going to end it here. So everybody have a great rest of your day. And thanks for attending.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.